Our next speaker is Maggiore, author of the book, What If Everything You Thought You Knew About AIDS Was Wrong? I read the book. It is excellent because not only does she thoroughly analyze the subject, she writes it on a level that the average person could read it and understand what the heck is going on. So without further ado, Maggiore.
Thanks for being here today. I wrote it for the average person because I am the average person. And I escaped from the experiment a couple years ago. In 1992, I had inadvertently become part of the experiment that everybody's been talking about when I tested HIV positive. I was at a doctor for routine medical examination, and she convinced me that it was an issue of self-esteem, of empowerment to take an HIV test. I believed her and I did it, thinking I was doing something good for myself. I was shocked, beyond belief. I won't go into all the adjectives, except to tell you that I was devastated, I was ashamed, and I stopped living my life as it was. I dropped out of school. I gave up all hope of ever being healthy, ever having a future, ever having things that I dreamed of and wanted, and decided that my life was going to be about dying, and it became about a search for a decent doctor to take me into death. And that's what I started doing, looking around for doctors. And in that process of searching for doctors, I noticed something, that what I was being told kept changing. Each doctor I saw, I had a different story, and I realized after a certain point I needed to take matters into my own hands. This became especially clear to me after I tested at different laboratories, because doctors kept telling me, you're so healthy, we can't believe that you're really HIV positive. We'd like you to test again. So I did. And each time I tested, my test result came back different. And in regard to Orville, with all respect to Orville, it didn't make the slightest bit of difference what my test results said. I was still a healthy person I am today. That was almost 7 years ago. I've never taken any AIDS medicines. Everyone I know that took the AIDS medicines that I worked with, I became a public speaker and an educator at the second biggest AIDS organization in the country, AIDS Project Los Angeles. The people I work with there are now dead. I was elected to the board of Women at Risk, a group that was supposed to be empowering women to deal with HIV and AIDS. Instead, it was a disempowerment group. The support groups were all supporting bad ideas. I didn't know that then. I participated in the experiment. I was trying to do some good. All the women on the board died, except 3 of us who never took the medicine. Support for people who test HIV positive in a comfortable place to complain about it and lament about it and feel sorry for each other in. I got real tired of that and decided I'd rather be at home watching The Simpsons on that evening. So when I was into that group, and I'm still in touch with the people who are in that group, it was all ladies. It was a ladies support group. Oddly enough, we ladies weren't on the drugs, but the husbands of many ladies were. I wasn't married at the time. The husbands all died, and the women are alive today. And when people tell you, oh, Christine, you're so unusual. It's been almost 7 years that you've been positive. You've never taken any medicines. And look at you. You're healthy. You're married. You have a beautiful baby boy that was just crying and had to leave the room because you heard Mama talking. But they think I'm unusual. I am not unusual. People say, oh, there must be some special gene that you possess, some genetic quality that scientists are trying to quantify and isolate so they can make a patent out of it and sell it back to us, right? If you saw lined up here all the people I know who are just like me, you can see we have nothing in common. We are from every part of the world. We come in every shape and size. We are men, we are women, we are young, we are old. The one thing we have in common is we don't follow doctors' orders. We have learned to think for ourselves. This is simply a conspiracy against life. And women have a tendency, when we talk about that totem pole, somehow who's ever at the bottom of it, when it gets to the very bottom, just below that are the women. and ladies, we are being targeted now for the next group that is going to suffer the most from this, as are our children. Pregnant women everywhere across the country, it is mandatory now. And if it's not yet in your state, it will be by the year 2000. Mandatory that you take an HIV test when you're pregnant. And I want to show you some things that I learned that went against everything I was taught to teach people about this when I was part of the experiment. I want to show you this and show you how dangerous this is to all of us, and especially to women and children. What's going on is terrible, and I'm here today, and I'm grateful to be here today to have an opportunity to let you know how you can take control and stop it. Nobody's going to do it but you. And this is information that we're giving you today so you can do that. You can take it into your own hands, because if you're counting on somebody else to do it, it's not going to happen.